èsì ohun èèyàn gan ti ń dáhùn. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ṣé bó fẹ́ sí ẹ̀wà ní ẹ̀wà láńsẹ̀ tó bá ti lè ṣe ó lè fílẹ̀ náà kí n bá yí tán ohun mi ti wà lórí kinní gbìyànjú ló ń gbọ́ mi. ẹ jẹ́ dúró sójú kan. Hello, Daddy. Hello. Hello. Yes, sir. Yeah, go to the other phone, the other Facebook. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good evening, good evening. I hope you can hear me. Please signify if you can hear me. Hello, let's see if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I'm
Can
hearing
you
you.
hear me? Okay, sir. Good
I'm
evening,
hearing
sir.
you. Thank you. Good
Yes,
evening.
sir. Okay. I hope everybody can hear me. Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, please let me know. Okay. I think it's clear. Okay. Okay. We just have 3 more minutes. Just 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes.
Can I not see it yet? What if I see them?
I hope you can see me, sir.
Yes, I'm seeing you.
Okay.
And you are seeing me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay.
Clearly.
All right.
Okay. I think we should start now. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. Yes, sir, you are welcome aboard. El Nino, you were the first person to join. Yemi Laemo, thank you, ma'am. Idowu Lizzy Ogunkeye, thank you. Adedoja Tenibi Aje Oluwaseun, thank you so much. Adebola Taiwo Olufemi Daniel, thank you for joining in tonight. Thank you. Today is the 5th of May, 2023, and by the grace of God, we are approaching the middle of the year. Adeni Bumi Odu, thank you, ma'am, for joining in. We are approaching the middle of the year. When did we start the new year? Just yesterday. We thank God for His grace and the privilege He has bestowed upon us to see today. Thank you, everybody. I know everybody is busy with one schedule or the other, but out of your tight schedule, you were able to join in. Thank you so very much. We have our doctor in the midst, Shola Thomas, my sister. Thank you, ma. Thank you for joining. Mr. Yetunde, thank you for joining in. Thank you. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Okay. We have our doctor. I know few people must have known him, must have seen him before, like last time he spoke with us. But for the benefit of those who do not know him, he will introduce himself. Can you introduce yourself, sir?
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be with you again this
Thank
evening. I
you,
am
sir.
Dr. Felix Amadin Ogbeide.
Okay.
I am a retired medical practitioner. I was the medical director of the Specialist Hospital Osiomo, Edo State, Nigeria. Until my retirement 12 years ago, I was doubling as the Edo State's Tuberculosis and Leprosy Control Officer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Ojoni Tosi, thank you for joining in. I'm sorry about that. Sir, I would say, like we that we are novice, we don't know nothing. Okay, now, what can we say leprosy is? What is actually leprosy?
Okay. Leprosy is a chronic infectious disease which primarily affects the nerves, but with manifestations on the skin and mucous membrane. That is leprosy. Leprosy is a very old disease. As you may remember, even Jesus Christ healed 10 lepers. As at then, they call them lepers, although we prefer these days to call them leprosy patients. He healed 10, and 9 went their way, and 1 came back to thank him. It's a very popular verse in the Bible. So leprosy has been a very long staying disease. So.
Okay. Thank you so very much. So the leprosy, we can't say precisely when it started, but it has been in ages.
Yes.
Okay.
I can give you an idea of when it started.
Okay.
Between 600 BC and 1400 BC.
Wow.
That was when the first,
it's as old as that.
signs and symptoms that were looked at and were thought to be leprosy. That
Okay.
was first in India.
Ah, wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. If I may ask, do you have an idea of the causes? Do they have anything that, like brings leprosy, that causes leprosy, and
Yes, of course. So long ago, in the early days that we were talking about, leprosy was more or less, once it is diagnosed in somebody, it's a death sentence. It had no cure. Nobody knew anything about it. And there were people saying it was caused by witches and wizards. Some said it is a curse from God at that time. But with time and with science growing and expanding, a bacterium was identified to be the causative organism for leprosy. And this bacterium is called Mycobacterium leprae. You remember when we were discussing tuberculosis the other time, we said tuberculosis is caused also by bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This one is Mycobacterium leprae. Both diseases are caused by mycobacteria.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Okay. Leprosy, okay, as we can see, does it affect a particular gender? Is it then gender based? Does it have to do with age? Does it have to do with ethnicity, or maybe like race?
Well, leprosy is a worldwide disease. It affects both male and female. It affects the elderly, children, growing adults, and the very elderly. But the high risk groups are the very elderly people. But it is also common from the age of 5 through 15 to 30, 35. These are the groups where you have it in larger numbers.
Wow. Wow. So it do happens, children do have it too. I never knew that.
Come again?
I said, so children can have it also.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. From the age of 5 and above, yes, they can have it. Even as early as 1 year, it has been diagnosed in children as young as 1 year.
Okay.
But very few, very few.
Okay. Okay then. Like, do they have symptoms? What are the symptoms? And do they have early symptoms and later symptoms?
Yes, leprosy has quite some significant symptoms. The most common symptom is a skin patch, a pale patch, pale reddish patch on the skin, which is like some other skin diseases, but this one is particularly recognized because it does not have a feeling on that spot. The person who has a leprosy patch does not, it loses sensation there, and it can be one or many on the body. So this is very significant of leprosy patch. The person feels numb on that spot, doesn't feel. So that's a leprosy patch. Then you can also have other symptoms like nodules on the skin. Nodules can be on the skin. They are painless nodules on the skin. You can have ulcers on the feet and on the hands, which are not, you don't feel on the ulcer. Painless ulcers, which are difficult to heal. These are leprosy ulcers. These are recognizable. Sometimes you have nodules on the earlobes and on the face. These are leprosy nodules.
Okay, sir.
Then when a doctor examines the patient, he
Okay.
might discover that some of the nerves, peripheral nerves, are enlarged and tender. That is, they are enlarged and painful. These ones help to concretize the diagnosis of leprosy.
Wow.
Okay.
Sir, somebody asked a question before we go further. Though I'm supposed to ask the question later, but once other messages pops up, it's going to take it away. So they are asking if it is hereditary.
No, leprosy is not hereditary. It is not. It's an acquired infection.
Okay. But it is contagious, right?
It is not contagious, but it is infection. When we say contagious, it means skin-to-skin infection.
Yeah.
That is not true with leprosy. It is airborne.
Okay.
It is airborne, droplets airborne. Yes, when somebody who has leprosy that is not on treatment sneezes or coughs, it releases millions of the leprosy bacilli into the air.
Jeez.
And then when somebody is close enough to inhale it, it gets infected. And like I also said of TB the other time, you may inhale the organisms and you will be infected because you have the organisms in your blood. But you may not come down with the disease unless your immunity is low. So you need to be in long-term contact with somebody who has leprosy that is not on treatment for you to acquire enough of the bacilli to cause the disease. So it's not everybody that inhales the leprosy bacilli that comes down with the disease. Okay?
Yes, sir. So just like the tuberculosis you said the other time.
Yes.
So it is contagious, but not.
No, it's not
I'm
contagious.
sorry, it's infectious, but not contagious.
But not contagious.
Okay,
yes.
okay. So this one too, if the immune system is weak, so the person, people can
Yes.
be infected with
Yes,
it when someone that has it sneezes. But if you have good immunity, yes, you won't have it. So what the doctor is trying to tell us is we should try and be eating good food, as he said the other time. You know, everything is about food. Once we, food, good ventilation and all those stuff, the way he told us the other time. In case you missed it, I know some people must have missed it. Okay, but we're still coming there. So since you said it is infectious, okay, now, okay, you said it is not hereditary. Now, is it curable?
Yes, leprosy is very curable.
Okay.
Like I said, in the early days, nobody knew anything about it. You didn't know the cause. You didn't. It had no cure, nothing. But since the early 50s, this the cure has been found because we now know the organism that causes it. We know it's a bacterium that causes it, and so drugs have been found that could take care of this
That could take care
disease.
of it. Okay.
Yes. At the beginning, when a drug called Dapsone was found to be effective with the cure, only
Okay.
Dapsone then was, and it had to be taken for many, many years to have
Wow.
some effect. But with time, many other drugs were discovered to be good in the cure of leprosy. So these days, we now use what we call multiple drug therapy, a combination of drugs put together. And instead of a cure being achieved in those days for within 10, 20 years of use of these drugs, nowadays, leprosy can be cured within 6 months to 1 year.
Oh, that's a
That is
good
it.
news. That's a
Yes.
good news. Okay. Someone just asked another question. It says, can leprosy be pandemic or endemic?
It can be both. But these days now, with the advent of the curative drugs, leprosy has gone down. It can no longer be pandemic, but it's still endemic in some parts of the world. In the advanced world, it has been virtually eradicated,
Hmm.
but we still have quite some cases in Asia and Africa,
Hmm.
including, of course, Africa. We have Nigeria there. We have, let's say, about in the early 80s, we had up to 5 million cases unregistered.
Wow.
Leprosy cases unregistered each year. But with the advent of this multiple drug therapy, leprosy cases have gone down. It actually can be described now as a dying disease. We have less than probably 300,000 cases in the whole world now.
Hmm.
In Nigeria, for instance, uh, like in the early 80s, we had up to about 30,000, 300,000, cases unregistered. But in the last 1 year or two, we just have less than 300,000. Here in Edo State, for instance, just before my retirement 12 years ago, we were recording about 1,000 cases a year. But now we have just 10.
Wow.
So you see, it has gone down.
It has gone down.
The fight against leprosy is being won by
That's good.
the
That's good.
world now.
That's good. And that's a very good news.
Thank you.
So I can since you said they still have it in some parts of Asia and Africa.
Africa, yes.
Let me just say maybe it's around that side. The Western world don't really
No,
have it that much there.
no. Those ones, they have eradicated it virtually.
It- okay, okay,
So if you see
okay.
any case in those places now, it's either somebody who has come to the endemic area in Asia or in Africa that carries it to that place. It's not
Okay,
it's not originating from
okay.
the
So
Western world.
okay. So can you share with us some of the physical damage that it can cause?
And treated, it can cause a lot of damages. Like I said, It's a disease primarily of the nerves with manifestations on the skin. Before the manifestations on the skin, some damages would have been done to the nerves in the body. And when these nerves are damaged, it affects the area affected, loses nutrients, and then they become dry, especially on the skin area. They become dry, and the skin would now tear, and then you have what we call ulcers. And these ulcers, because the blood vessels are not going there, the nutrients are not going there, the ulcers are difficult to heal. That is one of the complications of leprosy. It can also damage the bones and cartilages. Like the nose bridge can be destroyed by leprosy. Leprosy can affect the eye and cause blindness.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So these are some of the complications that can arise from leprosy, either not treated at all or is not quickly identified and put on, and the person put on treatment. Some of these complications can occur, and some of them are irreversible.
Wow. 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 That's huge. I know in the okay, now you said they are curable, right? With medications and stuff like that. So do they have any like home remedies, maybe like natural remedies, stuff like that?
To prevent it or to prevent it?
No, to cure it.
Or to cure it. Well, I'm not aware of any home remedy that can cure leprosy. What we know is we have identified the organism causing it. We have drugs that are capable of clearing it within 6 months to 1 year. If leprosy is diagnosed early and the person put on treatment, within 6 months to 1 year, the person is completely cured and there will be no residual damage.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now, some of the damage can be irreversible. Like if the person is blind, there might be nothing, little or nothing one can do about it. Okay. So the best bet is once you see any symptoms or you see any sign, just rush to the hospital. Okay. Now, like the other one we spoke about, which was tuberculosis, are there any free medical treatments for them or about on this one? Okay.
The good news is that all the drugs being used now are provided by government, WHO, and then the government of the various countries contributing. There's a program, a WHO program, which every country buys into. Nigeria buys into it. We have a national tuberculosis and leprosy control program, where all these drugs are made available to the patients free of charge. The treatment is free. Even the investigations, the diagnostic procedures are free.
So in a nutshell, you don't have any excuse since the treatment is free. So not that you say you don't have money to take care of yourself or anything.
No.
There are There are treatments available and they are free.
All you need to do is if you have any skin patch that you probably have used one or two out of the counter drugs and they are not responding, you better go see a doctor who will carry out further investigations. And if you are found to have leprosy, you will just be put on the program treatment, and it is free. Within 6 months, you are cleared of the ailment completely.
Okay. Is there any means of detecting it? Like, even if there's no physical symptoms, there's nothing, is there any means? Maybe one goes to the hospital, like a blood test is carried out and they check, like the tuberculosis, they can do like a blood test to check if somebody is having tuberculosis. But in this
No,
one, is there any?
there's no routine test you can just carry out to find out whether somebody has leprosy or not, except if there are reasons to suspect leprosy. Then some tests can be carried out, some physical examination can be done, and if there is any suspicion, some other additional tests can be carried out. Then there can be laboratory investigations. The skin snip can be taken to the lab to examine whether that patch is a leprosy patch or some other ailment.
Okay.
Then if he has pain in the hands or legs, and we think it's a nerve pain, we can examine the nerve and see if it falls into the class of leprosy. Then you can make a diagnosis. You can even do some tests on the nerves. I am trying to explain it in a layman's term so that everybody can follow.
Okay. Thank you,
So
sir.
there are laboratory investigations, yes.
Okay. Now, I know in the olden days, once someone has it, like in that community, even people coming in that community, it will be dangerous for them, people, there will be stigma, Is there any stigma, like anything like stigma these days? Like once they know
No,
someone has
no,
it?
yes. Like you said, in the early days, anybody that is found, even in Britain, in the advanced world, as at then, anybody who has leprosy, a bell is tied around his neck so that when he moves along any street, nobody will move on that street for some hours. Because people thought that anybody who moves along that street will develop the infection. Okay? The stigma was as bad as that at that time. Anybody found to have leprosy is taken out of the community and ostracized into far in the forest. And that's where he will live and die. Nobody will go to that area. Any family that has that you discover a leprosy patient from any family, that family is virtually ostracized. It was as bad as that. But when the disease, when more and more information came about the disease, they now knew the cause. They now know that drugs are there to cure it. The stigma started dying down. By now, I think the stigma has gone far down. Although some people in some areas, especially in rural areas, and people are still scared about it. But a lot of information has gone around. Many people are now aware that the disease is curable and that they can avail themselves of the opportunity to use free drugs provided by government.
Okay. Yeah. Someone is asking a question. Olabib, you're welcome. She just joined a few minutes ago. So she was asking if it is contagious. The doctor said it's not contagious, but it is infectious. Can you please explain again for the benefit of those that are just coming in?
Okay. When you say a disease is contagious, it means you can develop the disease or infection by touching the person, by contact. But this one is not so. You can touch a leprosy patient, but without contacting the disease. So it's not contagious. But it's infectious to the extent that if the person who has leprosy who is not on treatment coughs or sneezes, it releases millions and millions of the bacteria into the air. And anybody close by who inhales these organisms can get infected. And like I said, it is not everybody that gets infected that comes down with the full-blown disease. That's where I said those who have high immunity, their body will keep this organism in check. They will not be able to increase and multiply in his body. But once the immunity level is low, then the organisms in the body can increase rapidly in number and overwhelm the system of the person and cause disease. Yes.
Okay. So, I will try to draw you a little bit backwards, if you don't mind, sir. Just to explain to people further, like in a repetitive way, what can we do to have good immunity?
What can we do to have
Good
immunity?
immunity.
Good immunity. Oh, good. I think basically, if you take good food, good adequate feeding can give you a reasonable level of immunity to keep many of the diseases in the environment away from your body. It's just food. These days, you don't require so much money to be able to feed. There are some vegetables, fruits, and then other main food, staple food that people take. If you are able to take this, you'll be all right. If you don't have other ailments, your immunity level is also likely to be reasonably high. But when people have other ailments, chronic ailments, diabetes, which may make them not to eat properly, or any other disease, chronic debilitating diseases, it can eat into their immunity level. HIV, for instance, can drop their immunity level, and then some of these ailments can spring up.
Thank you, sir. Let me just reach out to few people. Omowumi Akiwumi, you are welcome, ma. You didn't miss too much anyway. That's why I said you should repeat some stuff so that you can catch up with them. Bose Dekayode Adeniyi, thank you for joining. Thank you so very much. Olabib, I said thank you earlier anyway. Okay. Now, another question is somebody asking what first aid should be administered to such person?
What first aid should be administered
to
somebody who has leprosy? Is that your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is, except if the person is coming down with a lot of complications from the ailment that requires first aid. Otherwise, there is no particular first aid you do except to recognize that this person has the disease and you put him on treatment. And usually, once the person is on treatment and is taking his treatment religiously, within 2 weeks, the level of organism in his body drops significantly, and his ability to infect other people will drop also.
Okay.
So once they are on drugs and they are taking it regularly, people around them are reasonably safe. Yes.
Okay, that's good. So the long and short of the story is, once you start taking treatment within 2 weeks, you won't be able to infect people anymore with it. That doesn't mean you don't have it. but so
No.
far you start taking treatment, it
Yes.
will like making it to be stagnant, staying where it is from
Yes.
infecting you
Yes.
more or any other person more.
Yes.
So now it will now be reducing gradually. So far
Exactly.
you still take the medication, you take it religiously, not you will just take for a while and you feel you are okay, then you stop,
No, no,
because that can be dangerous
no.
too. If
Yes, that's
somebody
very
does
dangerous.
that, what happens in case somebody is taking treatment, then suddenly the person just stops taking treatment without being cleared by a doctor that he or she is free? So
That
what
is
will happen?
dangerous. That is dangerous. If you are taking the drug haphazardly, the chances are that you will not be cured, and then the organisms will multiply more and more, and then the chances of you being cured become uh, slimmer. So it is advisable, once you are on treatment, to try as much as possible and complete that treatment within the specified time, and taking it in the adequate doses prescribed by the doctor. If you do that with this program, the chances of you being cured are very high, over 99% that you will be cured. The drugs are safe and very, very efficacious. In other words, once you are taking the drugs, you have 99% chance that you will be cured with it if you take it adequately.
Okay. Thank you, sir. As you can see, say there is no shortcut, no shorter route. The only thing is to take your medication, and you have to take it very well. You have to be effective with it on time and according to the dosage being prescribed to you. So if you refuse to take medication or you stop suddenly without being cleared by a doctor, then the chances of it, like coming back with full force and then not going again, like destroying everything practically, is higher.
Yeah.
So the best bet is to comply
Yes.
with
Comply
whatever
with your
you are
treatment.
being given, yes,
Yes.
with the treatment, and then take care of yourself. As we all say all the time, health is wealth. So once we are healthy, we'll be able to make plans, all the things we are planning for, all the money we are acquiring, all, everything we want to do. Once the health is faulty, one will not be able to move or act. So the best bet is to try as much as possible to be healthy, and then stuff like that. So, sir, let me just go back again as some of the questions now. So what can be done to prevent them?
Again, leprosy is more or less a disease associated with poverty.
Mm.
It is those who are poor that may not be able to afford good feeding system. They are the ones that can more likely to come down with the disease. They are the ones that are likely to stay in an overcrowded environment where the infections can easily spread. So if you stay in a house that is well ventilated and spacious, the chances are that even if one person has it in that environment, it may not affect many people. So this is one way of preventing it. Another way of preventing it is BCG, a vaccine that is given to people, which
So now, I was about asking that question, that is there any immunization being given to prevent it?
yes.
He has just mentioned it. This
Well,
BCG is very important. he said it the other time, that BCG can, help to prevent tuberculosis also. Now it's preventing leprosy. So what other
Yes.
ailment, like, or what other diseases can that BCG prevent from babies?
It's only the diseases that are caused by the bacterium, mycobacterium. You see that the two diseases, leprosy and TB, are caused by mycobacteria.
Mm.
That is why the BCG is used for both of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
does not work for other diseases anyway.
So
Only those two
those
diseases.
two diseases, and those two
TB.
diseases are not they are not quick diseases, so they are major disease that
Yes.
can
Yes.
terminate one's life or give a permanent death
Yes.
into
Permanent.
a person's life.
Yes.
Oh,
Permanent damage. Yes.
damage.
That's
Hmm,
true.
that is it. So now, like some people will say, I don't like giving my children immunizations and stuff
No,
like
no.
that.
That's a
All
very
these
wrong.
things are to prevent some diseases from attacking children. And then, okay, now if a child skips BCG,
Yes.
so okay, and within the first 5 years, and the child does not have it, and within the first 30 years, as you said, is it possible for the person to still have it at his latter age,
Oh yes.
later in life,
Oh
and
yes.
stuff like that?
Because
Hmm.
I said the elderly are also at
Also
risk.
not okay.
They are at risk because the elderly have stayed more years in life. They are likely to have been more exposed to these organisms in their daily activities in life. So the chances that they can still have it are there.
Hmm.
The only is if you look at the system of everybody, you may find some small quantity of these organisms in everybody's blood.
Hmm.
But because their body immunity is strong, is able to water
Right.
down, yes, fight this disease and keep them in silence.
Hmm.
But if for any reason, either because there is the person now suffers from a chronic disease that is making his immunity to drop, or is not eating well, one thing or the other that drops the immunity, the disease can surface at any age.
Hmm.
At any
Hmm.
age.
Hmm. Okay, that is it. So now, someone is asking a question before it goes away. He says, what of those people that have not taken BCG vaccine when they were babies? What can they do? They didn't take the vaccines, and not that they have the diseases. What can they do for preventives? That's prevention for leprosy.
The BCG can still be taken at any age.
Really?
Yes. Yes. If you are at risk, if you are discovered to be at risk, you can still take it.
Hmm.
That
Okay, so
that
it's only that it won't be the same dosage for babies. It will be higher
yes,
dosage, right?
yes, that's it.
Okay.
But you see, in some communities or in some countries or states, there are there are practices for at school age children who are going to school. They are tested.
Yes.
They are tested, and if they are found, if they are found to have some uh, reasonable level of these organisms in their blood, they are advised to go for BCG.
Hmm.
So
That
it,
is it.
it happens.
Okay. So,
People
okay.
preparing for university, people preparing to go, even to take a new job. Yes, they do it.
I know, but here we do a lot of testing and
Yes.
some vaccinations at times before
Exactly.
we start new job. Especially, I mean, it depends on the kind of job, then
Mm-hmm.
their requirements. So want to do it, you have to meet up with the requirements.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
understand that. So, and then now it means we have to be eating good food. When he said poverty causes it, he didn't say you have to be rich at all costs, like going to do what you're not supposed to do.
No.
But even if you don't have much, try to eat healthy. It's not about the quantity, but it is about the quality. It is about whatever you eat, whatever you put in. You're eating balanced diet, and
Exactly.
you can take in any fruits, vegetables, clean environment. Even if you are living in a small apartment, make it clean, and then try to be let it be well ventilated as possible, as much as possible. Even it doesn't have to be when you are a millionaire or you have so
Yes.
much to, God will
That's
help us. As I said,
that's
health is wealth. Prevention
exactly
is better than cure,
better
because
than
at
cure.
times the damage it will cause might not be able to be rectified. So it is better to prevent at all costs, as
See,
much as we can.
the
At
best
times ignorance,
preventive,
because our
the
parents
best
then, especially
preventive.
then,
Sorry.
yes. So
See,
it's to take the
is to quickly
BCG and
put that
then to eat good food. Yeah.
and quickly put that case on treatment so that you cut
Mm.
off the chances of infecting other people.
Other people, that's
Yes.
another thing. So the
That's the
moment you
best.
suspect anything,
Yes.
don't wait, don't play kites on
Yes.
yourself, like playing a joke on yourself or living in denial.
Yes.
You don't want to know what it is, just go and get yourself checked.
Exactly.
And thankfully it is free, and the treatment is free, so you don't have any excuses.
Exactly.
So, and then they said, okay, yeah, so they said BCG can be taken at any time. You are free, you can go and take it now, even at your age. Even if you are 50 years, you can still take it, and that is it. And then God will help us. So now, anybody with any other question? Okay. If you have any question, you can type it in, then I'll ask again. Okay. Okay, compared with um nowadays, let me just say, um how do I put it? In those days, things were different. But nowadays, again, things are changing, and then it has really changed drastically. And as you said, that in those states alone, you have about 10 or even fewer than 10. That is to show that things have changed, a lot have advanced and everything. So nowadays, um, can they live with people in the house? You know,
Yes.
can they, no
No.
stigma, no,
Yeah.
because
No.
I remember
Having.
then
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
used to come to Osiomo, they
Yeah.
were it was the outskirts of Benin, so they
Exactly.
were not in the city. And then I remember they were always staying on the road. They packed them to
Very true.
Osiomo to go and stay there, so that they won't stay on the road anymore. So, but nowadays they can stay with people in the house, right? The husband don't
All,
have to run away from the wife don't have to run away from
all,
the husband.
all
Oh,
that is in the past.
okay.
We in the program we deliberately decided to run the program to treat from home. Before it was institutional. Anybody who
Oh,
has it is confined to an institution. But in the recent past, that is no longer so. We treat them from their homes to we give the home, the community, the confidence that once they are on treatment, they are not infectious anymore.
okay. Okay.
So the people who are not on treatment are the ones that are constituting danger. So anyone you recognize, please bring them for treatment. And
Okay.
since the treatment is free, there's no point hiding.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's no longer as the stigma is not as high as before.
That's just it. Okay, that's good. That's a wonderful news to hear. So you don't have any excuse, and you
Yes,
can say you can live within the community. You can still be with your family. You don't have to lose your job. You don't have to, even people don't have to know about it,
Then
because
nobody will even know.
because you are not you
Nobody
are
will
not being
know.
casted out of
Yes.
the community. You
Yes.
just walk
Because
into the hospital,
you don't have
take,
complications now.
that is it.
You don't have deformities, so no
So,
physical deformities.
and that is why early detection is very good.
Very important.
When we
That's
take our health seriously, we don't have to be rich until we do all these things. Once in a while, as I used to tell people, once in a while, go to the health center, go to general hospital, just dedicate a day. It can be 2 days in a week. Okay, we know people are so many, and then because it's cheaper than private hospitals, just go there and get yourself checked. And once you get there, you want to check this, check that, they check it for you, and anything they tell you, take it up from there. Don't say, it's their own. Don't go home and be casting and binding, thinking it is the work of the devil. So, things happen, people fall sick,
that's
a lot of things happen. So, not that you don't have belief, or something like that, but at the same time, just take care of yourself anyhow you can do it. Take care of yourself, get checked, and then you start your treatment immediately, and that is it. Okay, any other question about leprosy? I'm waiting for you people. Then while I wait, because I'll be chipping in with some other questions too. The last time we were talking about, we I was asking you about some things that people used to ask, that is it true, is it lie, or something like that. Let me not just say lie, it's because it's some people's belief. Hey, sorry, oh, the network, I think, because it was blurry just now and the network just went off. So I think it will come in again. Let me see if I can. Please, so má bínú. Oh, the network just went off. Oh. I know it will come. Adero. Well, according to what he said, let me just answer the question. Somebody is asking if, like the Yoruba people believe that can one be attacked with leprosy. Well, we are talking about medicine now. We are not talking about spirit-filled something. But at the same time, according to what he said, that it has been in the ancient days, that this thing has been in existence since 600 to 1600 century or something like that. That even in the Bible, that Jesus healed the lepers, that, so it has, this thing has been in ages. But in the olden days, they used to think it was the evil spirit. But later on, they started doing some diagnosis where they found out that these things could be curable. So they don't really attach it to maybe, I won't say superstitious belief, because some people still believe in it and we cannot rubbish people's belief. It is their belief. But at the same time, most times, let me just say, it's not about being attacked with it. It has to be it can just be like a form of disease because it is infectious, according to what the doctor said. Now, once somebody sneezes, somebody that has leprosy, if the person sneezes into the hair, and another person can catch it from there, and then in order for the person not to be able to catch it, you have to have a good immune system. And how do you have the good immune system? Is by eating good food, as he said, eating good food and living in a well ventilated area, not a congested area. That was why he said it's attached to poverty, because When people are poor, they will not be able to afford good food, and they will not be able to afford good accommodation. But I now said at the end of the day, even if you are not rich, try to eat healthy food. It's not about the quantity, but it is about the quality. So eat fruits, eat vegetables, don't overeat, let your immune system be good, and God will help us. Health is wealth, you know. So when those ones are in place, and even if you are not that buoyant, you have a small room you are living, make it well ventilated enough for you. You don't have to go and stay where there's no window or no door. You know, is it possible? So just make a way, and then let air be coming in and coming out and going out, so that it will not be congested, where you can have, where you will have you'll be infected with any disease. And according to what he said it could be prevented with BCG vaccinations, those ones we used to take when we were, they call it number, you know, those number that we used to take when we were young, that children that have taken it have lower tendencies of, you know, having it. But in case you have not taken your BCG, he also said you can take BCG at any time, only that the dosage being administered to you will be different from the ones given to babies. So if you have not had your BCG when you were young, you still have chances of taking them now, that you don't have any sign of leprosy or anything. That once you see any blister, like an ulcer on you, and then you don't feel any pain, and this thing is becoming like a wound on and something like that, quickly go to the doctor and get yourself checked out. And then the good news about it is, in Nigeria now, there is free treatment, just like the one for tuberculosis also, that there is free treatment. All you need to do is to walk into the hospital, get checked, and once it is positive, they start treatment immediately. And if you start treatment immediately, within 2-3 weeks, the tendency of being infectious for other people will be low, very, very low, to up to zero. That means so far you start your treatment, you won't be able to transmit it, you won't be able to infect others. But if you don't complete the treatment, it can resuscitate, it can reoccur, and that will be so bad that it might not be curable again. So the best bet is, once you start the treatment, keep it up, do it diligently until you are free. Say between 6 months to 1 year, you will be totally free. That is it. So, and then once the doctor says you are free, then you are good to go. But don't be shy, and don't be, don't be lazy in taking the medication, and don't live in denial. Even if you have any signs, you don't know what it means, go get yourself checked. Being not really rich doesn't make one to neglect his or her health. So we have to take our health very, very seriously, and that is it. I'm still waiting. Oh, he hasn't come back. I think he's the network. Let me just send it to him again. Okay. I just sent it to him again. We just have a few minutes left anyway. So in the few minutes we can just, I'm just trying to keep up with what he has said, like repeating it, so that people that have missed it will still hear one or two things. So as he said earlier, he said it is not contagious, but it is infection. His network, he said, he just sent me a text that it is network. He's unable to, come in again because of the network. Okay, sir. um Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, thank you, Olufunmilayo, Olafunmilayo, thank you. Bose Kayode Adeniyi, thank you so much. Olayiwola, thank you also. Bola Tamunokombia, Shema, thank you. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. Um, I saw, I think I saw someone just now. Engineer Olisa Oluwaseun, thanks for watching. Thank you. I believe you are able to grab one thing or the other. Mrs. Omonwumi Akinwumi, thank you. Thank you. God bless you all for joining. Olukoya Olayiwola, yeah, he's telling me sorry. It's not your fault, sir. So there's nothing we can do about it. It is beyond us. So we have to take it like that. Adeyemi Aderomu, thank you for joining. So I really appreciate you all for joining in. So please, according to what he said in the olden days they can't stay with people in the community, but nowadays everything have changed, so they can stay in the community. All they need to do is to go to the hospital. Don't live in denial. Don't pretend as if it is not happening. It is happening. If it is happening, go to the hospital, get yourself checked, start your treatment immediately. You don't have to lose your job. Nobody does not have to know about it. But if you do not take heed, you don't take it serious when it happens, people will know eventually. So if you want to keep it secret, you don't want anybody to know. Once you detect anything, go to the hospital. Most times when early detection helps a lot, because you'll be able to attack it, and then that is it. Unless you tell people about it, nobody will know. But if you don't take heed, you don't take it seriously, you just pretend as if it's not happening, and when everything happens, eventually people will know. So the stigma you are trying to shy away from will now be bestowed upon you, because everybody will know. It will be in the limelight. So people will now be, you enter the bus, you're like, Mafara coming, stuff like that and everything. But nowadays, since they said you can go to the hospital and start treatment without having any issues, which is good. Stay in your house. Husband stay with your wife stay with your husband. It doesn't stop the regular activities you carry on every day. All you need to do is to complete the treatment within 6 months to a year, and that is it. All will be well. Please take your health very importantly. And it has to be as I said, health is wealth. Ìlera lọ́rọ̀. So even if it's a pinky, just this tiny pinky that is paining us the way we used to feel, how much more when we have issues going on our body. So please take care of yourself very, very well. A lot is going on. You are not the only one in it. A lot is going on. So the signs, okay, I may answer those ones. He said there may be peeled reddish parts on the skin, like maybe like a peel, something just peeled the body and it will be reddish, but then there won't be any pain. One will not feel any pain that time. So that's one. It can be one, it can be many. So on the skin, then painless ulcer. So like when you see it, you will know that this thing is getting bigger, and stuff like that, and then it's not painful. Then you go to the hospital and get yourself checked. So that is it, because it won't come with pain. Before it can come with pain, it will be later, maybe after the limbs have cut off or something like that. And he said it can even cause the blindness, which can be irreversible. It can be permanent blindness, so one will not be able to get cured. It's coming up again. Let's see if it comes in again. Then Miss Bose Kayode Adeni, you will ask the question and let's see. Then you're welcome back,
Sorry,
sir.
I was able to get that navigation.
Yeah, sorry, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So people are still waiting
Oh,
anyway.
that's
Yeah,
good.
a few people are still waiting. Yeah.
Okay.
So one person is asking a question. I know the question you answered before, but He's still asking because he just came in not quite long. He
Okay.
says, that I pray our doctor will still come back, and I want to ask, what are the signs when it starts?
What are the signs when it starts?
Mm-hmm. Like the
Like,
early symptoms and
okay.
signs.
Okay. The early symptoms are a patch on the skin, a light, pale, reddish patch on the skin that is non-itching. Non-itching.
It will
And
not itch the person,
no,
and it will not be painful.
no
Okay.
itching. It's not painful. And when you touch it, you don't feel on it.
Mm.
That is one. It is also possible for the person to have nodules on the skin. Nodules on the skin. It is possible for the person to have nodules also on the earlobes.
Mm.
It is also possible for the person to have pain ulcers that are not healing.
Mm.
Ulcers on the hands or on the feet that are not healing.
Mm.
These are early signs.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. So I hope you can hear that. And we thank our doctor for coming up here. We are coming back again. I'll be calling you and calling you and calling you.
Okay, with all pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So we are still coming back very soon, hopefully before the end of this month.
Okay.
Doctor is still coming back with one big topic.
Okay.
Big topic.
All right.
So, yes,
Thank you
so
very
thank
much.
you everybody for
Pleasure.
watching. My thanks go to God and to our doctor, Dr. Ogbeide from Benin City. He's a retired medical practitioner, as he had said. So, he's cooling off at home now.
Thank you.
His schedule is less busy now, so we can use him. We can be calling him all the time.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Dad. Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
So everybody, I thank you once again. This is Oluabi, Abid Busi, and this program is always being brought to you by Thoughtful Events. Thoughtful Events is a group where we share our some people are just coming in. Sorry, Olaniyi Karim. Sorry for coming in late, sir. You might have to go on my page and watch from the beginning. I believe you will enjoy it so much. It's a very good topic. You will enjoy it. Thank you. So, Thoughtful Events is a group where we share our past and present events. Some of these events we try to prevent others from having them, and some of them we try to prepare others in case they stumble on it in future. And that is it. So we talk about a lot of things. It's a freelance group. So we bring a lot of topics where we deliberate and we talk about, and everything like that. Please join us and be a part of us. We are on YouTube also. We have Yoruba class on YouTube for my daughter, which she releases videos every weekend, every Sunday precisely. And then this coming week, we'll be releasing some videos too pertaining to our daily life schedules and activities, and then how to live a healthy life, and then how to be up and doing with a lot of things, getting busy, because idle hand is the devil's workshop. You have to get busy these days. So occupy your mind with something, and then you try to occupy even your family with your children, especially. So once you get them to be up and doing one thing or the other, the atrocities in the society will be less. And then we pray our children will not be part of the community nuisances in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Thank you for watching us tonight. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, everyone. Till next week, where we come back with a very beautiful topic again. See you, and God bless you.
Thank you
Amen.
very much.
Amen.